Hello, this is the Animation Fanatic, and we are here to talk about Legend of Korra, Book 4, Episode 10. It takes me a minute to recall the episode names. Operation Beifong. And, for a series called The Legend of Korra, this season has spent a lot of time without Korra. Not to say that she hasn't done anything or that she's not a main focus of the episodes. Far be it. She last week she was the main, or week before last, episode 9. She was the main focus of pretty much the entire episode, or at least most of the episode. And in several episodes she has again been the main focus. It's just at the same time there's been a lot of episodes that have either focused not on her at all, like the first episode of this season, as well as this. Okay, this episode focused a little bit on her, but that was sort of a subplot. Or episodes, yeah, more like this, that have focused mainly on another character or characters, let's say Prince Wu or Kuvira or Mako or Tenzin's kids, while Korra is sort of in a smaller role on the side. So this is another one of those episodes where we're focusing on several other characters who are not Korra, and Korra is just on the side here. And I'm not objecting to that, I just think it's kind of funny. It is called Legend of Korra, not Legend of Bolin or Legend of Legend of Asami or something like that. And it's just kind of funny. But anyway, in today's episode, continuing from last week's, we have the Beifongs, Lin, Opal, eventually Toph, and Bolin, possibly future Beifong, going to save Su Yin and the rest of her family from Kuvira. Meanwhile, Korra is trying to persuade the spirits to help her fight against Kuvira attacking the city. President Reiko wants to use, Kuvira's special spirit weapon, but Varrick refuses to do it because he thinks it's too dangerous and it shouldn't get in anyone's hands. And Prince Wu tries to be a responsible king in order to impress Korra because he thinks he still has a shot with her, which was hilarious, actually, hearing him when he talked about that. Oh, also, Kuvira tested the spirit weapon, and we find out Julie was actually a double agent. She was working against Kuvira the whole time. I get the feeling Kuvira actually kind of suspected that. At the end of Battle of Zaofu, it seemed like she kind of suspected that, and in this episode, even before the reveal, it would almost seem like, it's like she's a little suspicious, but not quite. Just one thing I want to say first before I get into anything else. Probably my two favorite things from this were Kuvira was scary. I mean, really, when you see her design, she doesn't look like a very intimidating person. She's just a pretty average looking woman, average height, average. Nothing, no mask like Amon, no. Just sort of intimidating face like Unalak, no. Okay, Zahir's not really scary, but until he can fly. But the thing about Kuvira was she was just terrifying in this episode. When she found out Zhu Li, you could just see the look in her eye was just frightening. Just looking at her face, it was just like, ugh. And when she metal bended the little piece of the spirit gun, which is actually based, as if this wasn't Nazi Germany enough, it's actually based on a weapon used by the Nazis. I actually can't wait to see it kind of used against walls or buildings or something like that, other than a rock, because it did some serious damage to the rock. But anyway, when she metal bended that little piece, it was just frightening, just the way it was happening. And that's before she even really said anything. That's when her tones were fairly measured and she was just fairly calm looking. When she started shouting a little bit, it kind of wore off. She was like, you just pledge your loyalty to me. Chain her up in the city, which was also a little bit scary. It's like, geez, so, she's willing to kill Julie in this possibly horrible fashion. Having her blown up, pretty much. That's pretty harsh. Okay, not as harsh as the deaths in season 3. By the way, no one's died so far. Yeah. So much for episode 10 being notorious. Well, I don't know. Maybe this will be notorious on the way down. It was a good episode, though. Well, I guess I'll get into one reason why it might be notorious in a minute. But anyway, that was just terrifying when she did that, and yeah, it really shows just Zella Williams is a great actress, sorry, in this show, but also just the animation and the build-up, like everything had to come together, the acting, the animation, all of it, just to make Kuvira just so freaking scary. For me, it was more scary than when she just sort of intimidated Bolin, or even when she choked Varric, because when she choked Varric, it was just like, oh yeah, someone's threatening somebody else. It just reminded me of, I couldn't stop thinking of Darth Vader and whatnot. But this was just scary. I'm sorry, that was a great scene. Probably one of Kuvira's best. Another great scene was when we finally find out who Lin's dad is. Not Su Yin's, but just Lin's. I won't. Yeah, so it's not someone we know and not someone we have any information about. A guy named Kanto. And that might make things infamous in this episode because, people were expecting it'll be Sokka, it'll be this person, it'll be that person. No, it's Kanto. We still don't know Su Yin's dad, so we'll see who that is. I don't know if Su Yin or Lin or anyone else will talk about it, or Toph, if she shows up again. But yeah, so Lin was pretty mad about Toph not really being there for her and not talking about her dad before. So they got into a little bit of an altercation, and Lin actually says, I don't want to see you after this mission, because they're going to save Su Yin and her family. But what I really loved is when Toph says, well, if that's what you want, then that's what you want. Then okay. It was just heartbreaking to hear her voice, like, not really, I mean, she's not crying or anything, but just to hear her voice crack a little bit, it was heartbreaking. I mean, it was really sad. Great acting there from the actress who does Toph's voice. It was just, it was really heartbreaking to see, how much she loves her daughter, how much she loves both of her daughters and her family. But, also how she's willing to respect their wishes even if it hurts her. That was great. Like I said, most of the episode is the rescue and Korra trying to convince the spirits to fight with her. They refuse, actually, because they don't want to get involved in people's wars or be used as weapons, although they explain that they only fought for Unalaq, or Batu, really, because they were being manipulated. And, we'll see what happens, if they'll change their minds or if they'll just stay away from Republic City. And, Kuvira, we now know, is going to march on Republic City, and who knows where else she'll go? The Water Tribes, the Fire Nation? I don't know. It seems a little, I don't know, maybe she'll try a surprise attack, announce that she is going to attack Republic City and then attack elsewhere while they're waiting. But anyway, we've got just a couple of episodes left, 3 more. The finale is going to be a 1-hour special. And just waiting to see how everything's going to implode there at the end, and how it's all going to turn out. Like I said, this was a really neat episode. It was really funny. It was really cool. For those of you who are hoping to see Toph go out and fight some people or destroy Kuvira's army, Toph, like I said before, Toph might be powerful, but she is not. She's not young anymore. That's what she says. She says, that's the reason why Katara didn't get involved in fighting during the Civil War. And even Zuko is, probably a little too... Zuko can still fight, just like Toph, but he's probably, feeling the effects of his age. Toph's powerful, but, at the end she says, my back's hurting. I can't, keep this up. I've got to leave this to the kids because, you get old, you can't sustain yourself for too long. Just one more thing. The fight between Su Yin and Kuvira was actually pretty cool. The two are more or less evenly matched, although I think Kuvira was kind of getting the better of her. And if Toph hadn't shown up, Su Yin, surrounded by Kuvira's troops, probably would have lost. It was a pretty cool fight. It was cool to see them use their metal bending. It was cool to see, metal bending against metal bending. It was cool to see Kuvira use her sort of sword that came out of her arm. That was really awesome. It was much more. It was less of a build-up. I almost think it was a better fight than Kuvira versus Korra, even though the Kuvira versus Korra fight had more build-up. and more drama surrounding it. That was such a one-sided fight in many ways until Korra got into the Avatar state. And this one was a lot more fast-paced. It was a lot more brutal. No, maybe not brutal. It's just a lot more fast-paced, a lot more evenly matched. But it really does give you an idea of how powerful Kuvira is. She has. I thought, oh boy, Suyin's not going to stand a chance. Kuvira. In the same way, Korra. Kuvira has been fighting constantly for 3 years. Well, who knows what Suyin's been doing? Running her city, and Korra has been out of commission. So yeah, it wasn't a smackdown, but you could clearly see that Kuvira had a slight advantage. So she's still maybe not the most powerful bender or villain on this show yet, but still a very powerful one indeed. Well, anyway, we'll see what happens next week. I look forward to Kuvira's Gambit. What is it? Shadow of the Colossus and The Last Stand. I hope that you enjoyed as well, and yeah, can't wait.